believe he is not going to be here for the next couple of weeks due to some personal issues and just stuff that's going on with him. I apologize for that. But getting straight into it, I am going to start off talking about baseball a little bit. It's mainly has to do with the Baseball Hall of Fame. The Baseball Hall of Fame is opening a Savannah Bananas exhibit, which I honestly think is kind of fun to actually see the Baseball Hall of Fame recognizing them. And if you don't know who the Savannah Bananas are, they're basically it's basically the Harlem Globetrotters of baseball. It's pretty much that. They have different rules. It's actually kind of exciting to watch. I don't know too much about them or the rules of Banana Ball, but it is still fun to watch, and I'm actually kind of excited to see what the Baseball Hall of Fame is going to do with that exhibit and how it's going to be structured. And that's actually going to be exciting to see, especially because I'm pretty sure I'm going there within the next couple of years. I haven't really made a decision on that yet, but since that's opening up, I probably will go within the next couple of years. But moving straight on to college football, there is not much going on this week in terms of games. This has been a terrible, or this is going to be a terrible weekend for college football. Next weekend, it starts to pick up some conference play and just a lot better games. So I'm excited for next week. But this week, there's really only two interesting games, and I'm not going to talk too much about them because they're teams that I haven't gotten to watch yet. But the first game is Tennessee versus Florida. Tennessee is ranked 11th. Florida is not ranked. I feel like this could be a good SEC matchup. Tennessee is ranked 11th in this. Florida, they have the ability to upset people, but we'll see what happens in this game. I don't know much about either team this year. I know both are losing or lost some pretty good players. In Florida, losing Anthony Richardson, and Tennessee losing Hendon Hooker and Jalen Hyatt. But yeah, we'll see who wins that one. But I think Tennessee is going to win. I just don't see Florida upsetting Tennessee. Now, moving on to the game of the week for college football, there's not much to really say for a game or there was not really much contention for game of the week. It was either between the Tennessee-Florida game or Washington-Michigan State game, with Washington being ranked 8th and Michigan State not being ranked. Both teams are coming into this 2-0, and a little controversy with Michigan State this week as they did fire their coach, their head coach for football, and they hired back Mike D'Antoni, who retired from being Michigan State's head coach back in 2019, and I believe he started with them back in 2007, I believe. But, yeah, this is going to be a fun game to watch. It's going to be fun to see how Michigan State plays with a new coach. It's not something that you see every day, firing a head coach in the middle of a season or after games have started. It's not something that you see very often. So this is going to be exciting to watch to see what Michigan State can do. And Washington, I feel like they are going to be good this year. I don't think that they're going to win the national championship or even make the playoffs, but they're still going to be exciting to watch like they were last year. Michael Penix Jr. came back, and he's been electric from what little I have seen from Washington this year. But, yeah, that's all I have for college football. Moving straight into NFL, I'm going to start this off with Aaron Rodgers' injury. I know last week I said that it is going to be fun to watch Aaron Rodgers get destroyed by the media. I personally don't love Rodgers, mainly because I'm a Packers fan and that whole controversy with him and the Packers. And he's just been disappointing me since I was a little kid. So, but it is terrible that he did tear his Achilles 4 snaps in to his season. That's definitely not something that you want to see, especially in a player his age. He is 39 years old. Most players, that's a career-ending injury, but it seems from everything that I've seen from him that he is going to try and come back next season and play, which I am excited to see that and how he does perform next season if he does end up coming back. But it is terrible to see him get injured. But it is going to be, on the flip side, it is going to be interesting seeing how the Jets perform. Now, they did come back and beat the Bills on Monday with in overtime, which shockingly Josh Allen loses in overtime. Should not surprise anyone. But they did come out in overtime and return a punt for a touchdown to win the game, which was a very entertaining game. And Zach Wilson was actually surprisingly good in that game, I'm not going to lie, on Monday. He wasn't as bad as everyone thought he would be, including myself, but it seems like Aaron Rodgers has taught him a thing or two. So we'll see if that can continue this week as well. Just getting into some games this week. I will start with the Jets game since I'm already talking about the Jets. They play Dallas down in Arlington, Texas. Honestly, I have the Cowboys winning this. I'm not going to lie. Their defense, Dallas's defense, looked amazing against the Giants after just absolutely destroying them 40-0. But yeah, that is going to be fun to see how the Jets' offensive line holds up against that Cowboys defense, especially Micah Parsons, since, in my personal opinion, the Jets' offensive line is absolutely horrendous. That's something that they have needed for a long time, and it doesn't seem to be a focus for them, which is baffling to me. But it is also going to be fun to see how the Jets defense performs as well. They have a great defense this season, in my opinion, and this is going to be a very defensive game, and I love defensive games. They're fun to me. But if you don't like defensive games, you have a lot of other options. But yeah, this is just going to be a fun game. Another game is Packers-Falcons. This is going to be interesting, honestly, to see if the Packers win against the Bears was just them beating the Bears, because the Bears will always be the Bears. But this is going to be fun to see if Jordan Love is a good quarterback or not. This is going to be a good test, especially going up against Jesse Bates. Yeah, this should be fun from a Packers fan point of view. It also is going to show us how that run defense is with the Packers. Like I said, the Bears is not a good test for the Packers ever. So I usually go on the second game of the season or the game after a Bears game to see how they're going to perform for the rest of the season. But Falcons, I don't really see them doing too well. As long as they put Bijan Robinson into a better situation and make sure that he gets the ball more than Algier, I feel like they can pull it out. But you have two strong running backs that you need to rely on, and you need to find a perfect balance. So this is going to be an interesting game, but I do have the Packers pulling it out only because I don't trust the Falcons very much. Moving on to Colts-Texans. Absolutely terrible game to watch. This is going to be a very developmental game, as I like to call them. Anthony Richardson and C.J. Stroud being both rookie quarterbacks is more trying to develop some chemistry with the receivers still, trying to figure everything out. It is also for the Texans going to be fun to see Will Anderson develop as well. He showed flashes in last week's game. I forget who they played, but he showed flashes of being a really good defensive end. So we'll see if he can continue to do that. Is going to be a fun game. Next fun game to see is Niners-Rams. Honestly, I just think this one's going to be a fun one, mainly because I need the Rams defense to shut down Brandon Ayuk because I'm committing basically highway robbery on someone in my fantasy league, trading George Pickens for Brandon Ayuk. And if the Rams shut down Brandon Ayuk, I get him for George Pickens, which is a absolute steal. That should be illegal to even do that, but it's just going to be a fun game for me to watch personally because of that. And it's also going to be fun just to see how the Rams perform without Cooper Kupp and whoever else they lost. Because I read somewhere that they only have 4 players left from when they won the Super Bowl, which is absolutely mind-blowing to me right now. Cooper Kupp's injured. I forget who else is injured. Cam Akers isn't playing well. Stafford's old. Donald is Aaron Donald. But that is going to be a decent game, but I still think the Niners are going to destroy them, especially with that defense. Now, the other fun game, or last fun game, I should say, is Bengals-Ravens. Honestly, I feel like depending on if Burrow plays like he did week 1 or plays like the quarterback that gave him or that got him his record-breaking contract. But if Burrow plays well, I don't know how the Ravens defense can stop him. Now, the Ravens defense did improve over the offseason, but I don't think that they will be able to stop Joe Burrow. It is going to be interesting, though, seeing the Bengals defense and how they try and stop Lamar Jackson and all their new offensive pieces in Odell. Actually, I think Odell might be their only new offensive piece. It is also going to be interesting to see what the Ravens do at running back because J.K. Dobbins got hurt again, which is terrible to see. I'm pretty sure it was a torn Achilles for J.K. Dobbins. But, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they do there. Just 1, maybe 2 more games. Actually, 3 more games. I just saw another one. Patriots Dolphins, I should say, is going to be an interesting one because that's in Foxborough. And as we saw last week, the teams don't really play well in Foxborough no matter who you are. Patriots just play better in Foxborough. Maybe it was Tom Brady just being at the game and it made the New England's, I don't know, Tom Brady magic to, I don't know. But I could see the Patriots upsetting the Dolphins here. It depends on how Tua and Tyreek play. If Tua does not play how he did last week with his 466 yards, I believe it was, if he doesn't play like that, I don't see the Dolphins being able to win this. But, yeah, that's all I have for that game. Next game is one of the 2 Monday night games. It's the later Monday night game and the better Monday night game. And Browns-Steelers. This will be an interesting game, honestly. Should be fun to watch. Steelers are looking to bounce back after being absolutely manhandled by the 49ers last week. And Browns are coming off of a win, a dominating win against the Bengals. So this should be interesting. We'll see how Kenny Pickett and George Pickens can do for Pittsburgh. And it is going to be fun to see how the Browns offense what they're going to do and what their game plan and strategy is to defend against that Steelers defense, which in my opinion is probably the best defense in the NFL right now. But last NFL game is Lions-Seahawks. This is going to be interesting because Seahawks didn't play very well last week, but the Lions shocked everyone and beat the Chiefs 21-20. So we'll see if the Lions can start off 2-0 for the first time in, probably for the first time in my lifetime that they're starting off 2-0 if they can beat the Seahawks. So this should be interesting. Now, moving on to basketball, just some news from the NBA. The Oklahoma City Thunder are getting a $900 million arena that was approved by, I believe, their city council or whoever approves that stuff. I don't really know. But they plan to open it in before the 2029-2030 season. So that's a long, long ways away. The Thunder will only be paying $50 million in the arena costs. So they're only paying $50 million of the $900 million. And they've committed to playing at least 25 seasons in that arena. So that should, if my math is correct, should take them up to 2050 or 2055. I'm terrible at math, so it's probably wrong. But we'll see with that. Continuing with basketball, I don't remember how long ago this was. This was probably like 2 weeks ago, but USA's men's team did get eliminated from the FIBA, whatever they do. I don't really know what it is, but FIBA basketball. They got eliminated by Germany, who went on to win the entire thing of whatever. I don't really pay attention to that kind of stuff for them. But it did spark an interesting thing around the NBA with LeBron kind of trying to get Steph Curry and Kevin Durant to join him in Paris next year for the Olympics and kind of redo like the dream team that LeBron made. And I believe it was 2012 that he made the Redeem Team. I don't remember, honestly. But also the original dream team with Jordan, Magic, and Bird. And then I believe that Redeem Team had LeBron, Kobe, and D. Wade. I believe that's who it had, like the big three-ish of that team. But yeah, that would be fun to see. It would be a lot of those players would have to take the ego out of it and be able to pass the ball, which would be interesting to watch because I don't think that most of those players can do that, but we'll see. And that's all I have for basketball. Moving into baseball, it's not really much, just one thing. Talking about the Yankees, which is Jason Dominguez is undergoing Tommy John surgery next week. So, which is kind of interesting because he is their number one prospect. And I don't know what their medical staff is like over in New York for the Yankees, but it seems like they cannot keep players healthy over there. I don't know why. Aaron Judge was hurt at one point in this season. I believe Hicks was also injured. Most of their players end up injured at some point in the season. So the fact that your number one prospect is getting hurt is absolutely ridiculous. They need to find a way to solve that and find a way around that or get a new medical staff, basically. But that's all I have for baseball. Two more things with this just concerning racing. The first one is for IndyCar. Alex Blow won the championship. That's it. For IndyCar. Then the last thing for the show is IMSA is going to be at the track this weekend. I believe they started today for practices. IMSA is basically just a racing series of, like, I believe stock cars. I don't really know. It's pretty much cars from that you would see in the 24 Hours of Le Mans, if any of you know what that is. But yeah, they're doing that at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway this weekend. Their race is on Sunday, so that should be interesting to see. But yeah, that's all I have for you this week. I will see you back, or you can tune in here next week at 3. So